Once upon a time in a snowy land, there lived two best friends, a girl named Gerda and a boy named Kai. They played together every day in the snow, and their laughter echoed through the frozen fields. One day, while they were playing, Kai suddenly stopped. He looked down at his feet and said, "I have to go home. My grandmother isn't well." Gerda knew how much Kai loved his grandmother, so she didn't try to persuade him to stay. Instead, she said, "Well, then go and take care of her. I'll see you tomorrow." Kai nodded and hurried home. As soon as he stepped into his house, a shard of ice that had fallen from the sky entered his heart and froze it. Kai screamed in pain, but no one could hear him. The shard had also made him as cold as ice, so without saying a word, he ran out of the house and into the forest. Gerda was very worried about her friend. When the sun began to set, she went to Kai's house to check on him, but when she knocked on the door, no one answered. She tried to open it, but it was locked. Then she looked through the window and saw the shard of ice lying on the floor. Suddenly, she understood what had happened to Kai. Without wasting a moment, Gerda set off to find him. She walked across frozen rivers, through dark and scary forests, and over tall mountains. The wind was so strong that it almost knocked her down, but she didn't give up. She kept moving forward, calling out Kai's name. All this time, Kai had been walking without any direction. The shard of ice had also made him forget his way home. He had never felt so lonely or scared. But then he saw a beautiful cottage in the distance and started walking towards it. When Gerda was exhausted, she knocked on the door. A kind woman opened it and invited her in. "You look tired, dearie," she said. "Why don't you stay here for the night? You can rest and have some hot chocolate." Gerda agreed and felt much better after drinking the hot chocolate. The woman gave her a warm blanket and told her to sleep. Meanwhile, Kai had reached the cottage, but before he could knock on the door, the kind woman opened it and gasped in surprise. "Why, it's you," she exclaimed. "You must be freezing. Come in and warm yourself by the fire." Kai nodded and sat down. Then Gerda came out of her room and saw Kai sitting by the fire. She couldn't believe her eyes. She ran towards him and hugged him tightly. "Oh, Kai, I was so worried about you," she said. "Are you all right?" "I'm fine now that you're here," Kai replied, smiling. The kind woman brought them some food and then went to her room, leaving the two friends alone. "How did you find me, Gerda?" Kai asked. "I was looking for you everywhere," she said. "I didn't give up hope of finding you." "I'm so glad you didn't," Kai said, taking her hand. "I love you, Gerda," and they both knew that their friendship was stronger than the coldest heart. They stayed in the cottage for a few days until Gerda's parents came to take her back home. Before leaving, she promised to visit Kai again. Soon, Gerda and Kai were back in their village, but they weren't the same. Now they understood that their bond was something special. They continued to meet every day in the snow, and their laughter once again echoed through the land. Once upon a time, there lived two best friends, a girl named Gerda and a boy named Kai. They played together every day in the snow, and their laughter echoed through the frozen fields. The Snow Queen's icy palace was made of ice and snow, just like the North Pole. There were thousands of rooms in the palace, all filled with beautiful ice sculptures and sparkling snow. The Snow Queen sat on her throne made of solid ice, and her heart was cold and hard like a glacier. Meanwhile, Gerda had reached the Snow Queen's palace. She was determined to save her best friend from the Snow Queen's icy clutches. As she walked through the palace, she saw many children trapped inside the ice. Some were sitting on icy thrones, while others were lying on beds of snow. Gerda felt sad, knowing that she had to wake Kai from his icy slumber. She found Kai sitting on an icy throne. His heart was hard as ice, and his eyes were blank and lifeless. Gerda cried out in anguish, and her warm tears fell on Kai's frozen heart. The ice around Kai's heart began to melt, and he opened his eyes. He looked at Gerda and smiled. "You came to save me," he whispered. Hand in hand, they left the palace and returned home. Gerda and Kai were happy to be back in their village. They had faced many challenges and dangers, but their friendship had only grown stronger. From that day on, they promised to stick together and never give up on each other. The end.